Hey guys, I just bought quite possibly the least reliable product that Honda has ever made. And I'm going to tell you why, but that'll be a little bit later. First, let's discuss just what made these things so unreliable. Now, under the hood of the Acura TL, oh sorry, the props aren't working on this thing, so I'll just be the hood prop. But under the hood of this Acura TL is a 3.2 liter VTEC V6 engine that pumped out 225 horsepower. Now, this was exclusive to the TL. Underneath, these were pretty much a Honda Accord, except for this engine and then what it's mated to, which is the transmission. That's the big problem.
This is the second generation of the Acura TL, and the vast majority of these cars came with a 5-speed transmission, and the issue lied in that very transmission. They had a super high failure rate. People said they would have to replace their transmissions as often as every 50,000 miles, and Acura did a lot to extend the warranty even out to 7 and almost 8 years past the car's manufacturing date, but they were massive problems. What happened was, as one of the clutch packs in the transmission wore, particles would go in and clog all these oil holes and everything in the transmission and make it just completely fail.
The transmissions on these were so bad that owners actually sued Honda, filing a lawsuit trying to get them to cover the transmission replacements on these. And even after Honda agreed to replace the transmissions, if you had that transmission replaced prior to March of 2005, it's pretty darn likely that you would have to have it done again. Now, the question that you may be asking yourself is, why, Brendan, would you buy such a terribly unreliable car? And well, I didn't. I did buy this one, but here's the key. That transmission was from 2000 to 2003, and this is the first year of the model, which is a 1999. And in 1999, they had a much more reliable transmission.
So Brendan, let's actually get on the road in this Acura TL and see what it drives like.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's in, honestly, really good condition, especially considering its age. It's not a low mileage car.
No, it's not. I mean, 167,000 miles, and you're talking a car that's what now, 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect, but for what it is, I think it's actually really nice.
Well, and even after all those miles, I mean, so far, nothing feels loose, nothing feels like it's rattling itself apart or needs fixing. The brakes feel normal. The suspension rolling over some of the bumps in the lot felt like it should, and getting on the throttle, the engine has good power. It shifts fine, which,
exactly,
as we've been talking about in this video, is something that you want to be sure of in this car. So this transmission is a 4-speed with what they call sport shift, which means you can slide the shifter over, you can pick what gear you're in. But this 99 only option in this car is what was your saving grace.
Yeah, so in 1999 is the first year that they launched this car, and they launched it with a 4-speed sport shift automatic, which was a perfectly fine transmission. But then for whatever reason, they decided in 2000 to update it to a 5-speed sport shift automatic, and their reasoning was they wanted a little bit better performance, and on 0 to 60 they got an extra 0.1 second. Ooh. And they wanted a little better gas mileage, which in the city netted them a 0% gain, and on the highway netted them, they went from 27 miles per gallon to 29.
Yeah, so a few extra MPG, but knowing what we know now in hindsight, it's not worth it for a car that loses its reliability in this powertrain, which, especially from a Honda product, is something that you generally expect.
Exactly, yeah, and just as you said, like everything else about these cars is actually pretty reliable. The engines are good, the electronics are generally fairly reliable, the fit and finish of them is really good. It's just that they have that fatal flaw of those transmissions, and in later years you could actually get a Type S version of this, which hopped it up the power a little bit, up to 260 horsepower.
Yeah.
And as great as those are, they still have that transmission problem. And so, yeah, you can buy a cool Type S one, but I really think if you're going for the TL, this is the one to have.
Although, was the Type S available with a manual?
Not in the TL.
Not in the TL.
So if you got the CL, which is basically the two-door version of this car,
Right.
otherwise it's the same, they did offer a manual transmission in it, and it's exceedingly rare.
Yeah. So that would be the hottest, most valuable version of the car.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, those are going like $10,000 to $15,000. They're pretty valuable.
aside from the transmission, there were actually a lot of good things about these Acura TLs when they were new that made them popular cars. So popular, in fact, that this was the second best-selling luxury car, aside from the BMW 3 Series, for a while. And a couple of the reasons is because it's got pretty modern styling for the time. It especially looks pretty sharp in this nice black finish. It's got 16-inch alloy wheels that have aged pretty well, and this car in particular is actually in really decent shape. It's at, what, about 160,000 miles, but it's aged really well.
Now, the interior was actually a pretty nice place to be. Getting a lot of, leather, thick leather, a lot of nice wood on the dash, including, I like this really kind of almost like burled shift knob with the Acura logo on it. And then you got a Bose sound system. You could get the optional navigation system on this. And then you get these little like hidden cup holders. You get an armrest that slides forward for extra comfort. You got heated seats, sunroof, thick leather seats. I mean, it's a pretty luxurious car to have. And the one thing I think is actually quite interesting is this navigation system. So this navigation system, actually it doesn't work, unfortunately, but when the screensaver comes on, it has a little starry night to it. So if you have an old LCD screen that's losing its pixels, like on this one, you won't notice because it'll just add another little star in the sky.
Now, something funny when it came to the navigation system in these Acuras is that they ran off discs, which was typical for the era, but the country was split into 5 different zones that were on 5 different discs. So if you had to go cross-country, well, you couldn't put in your navigation route all at once. You would have to change a disc, making it pretty much useless for any cross-country trip.
Other interesting thing too is since I don't have the hard disk in this, you can't set the clock. So if I hit setup here, right, I can change the brightness, volume, display, routes, address, but like a lot of this stuff, others, it literally just beeps at me because I can't click on it because it doesn't have the hard disk in it. So that clock will be forever wrong until I get that fixed.
Another thing that made this a popular car for its day was the back seat. Now, I'm 5'10", so I'm not a massive guy, but I still have a decent amount of headroom, and I would even have a decent amount of headroom if I was maybe an inch taller, although 6 foot, you'd probably be touching. Decent amount of leg room, but some nice things. I've got some vents here in the back seat, which that's really nice to have summer and winter. I've got a center armrest that has cup holders and a pass-through in case I want to put some skis in the trunk. So it's really a decent place to sit. But really the great thing about this is that you can find them very affordably. If you look out for a 99 with this transmission, then this is a really good way to get yourself into a generally reliable and comfortable vehicle. So do you want to say how much you paid for this?
Sure. Well, so I bought it at a dealer auction. I get it that not everybody can get those prices that I get.
Right.
And I bought mine for about $2,000. But realistically, if you were to buy this on the used market, you can find these relatively easily for less than $5,000. And I think even if you step up to $5,000, you could probably get one, maybe even 100,000 miles in like pristine condition, and it'll last you a long time.
Yeah, so if you can get around the transmission issue, then this is potentially a really good car for the money. You just have to be very careful that you don't pick one that's going to have a transmission fail on you. Otherwise, you're just better off getting anything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the one that has the transmission issue, just like any car that has a fatal flaw, just prepare for it.
So anyways, that's all for this video. Be sure to go on over to TFLbiz.com where we've got a lot of really cool and also a lot of affordable cars. And if you have something cool out there, definitely submit it to our site.
Yeah, and if you do submit your car on TFL Bids, it will be me personally that responds to it, and yeah, it's a good way to interact with us. We'd love to help you sell your vehicle. We promise to get it listed and sold faster than any other automotive auction site out there. And for everything else, check out all TFL. And if you like this kind of content, a little bit of buyer advice on used vehicles, please give it a like, hit subscribe, and let us or help us grow this channel so that way we can bring you a lot more cool, interesting videos.
Absolutely. And thanks for watching.
Take care.